Welcome back, everybody. I've not done a book review sort of video in such a long time, but recently I read this book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael and this book had such profound impact in me and I learned some valuable lessons, so I decided to share it with you. Now, this book is one of a kind because I've seen people talking about surrendering to life and letting life take the lead, but this book and Michael's entire life serves as an example of what your life could look like if you surrender and if you let life take the lead. So there are 4 valuable lessons that I learned from this book that I'm going to share in this video, and I'm also going to convince you through that to read this book. I would definitely recommend all of you to read this book. Before we start, if you would like to work one-on-one with me or if you would like to join any of my monthly group coaching sessions, click the link in description. To first give you an overview, this book covers Michael's life starting from his 20s until his 50s. And in his 20s, all he wanted to do was disappear in the woods and meditate. He just wanted to sit and meditate throughout the day. But life had different plans for him. And there came a point when he realized that there's much more to life, like life is trying to do something through him and he had to surrender to it. So he decides to go on with whatever life brings his way. And guess what? He went on to build a $1 billion company. His life started off as a professor and then he went on to build a construction company, and then computers came along. He learned programming languages because he was so excited about it. He was so passionate about it. And then he had to build a software for some medical billing system, and that goes on to become a huge thing. And finally, WebMD, a huge company, acquires his company, the medical manager, for $5 billion. Now, what I really liked about this entire journey, and Michael as well, is that if you ask anyone who has achieved so much in their life, they would say things like, I worked so hard, I did this, I did that, but not even a single piece of pride or, I did it with my hard work, I was so disciplined, I was doing that. None of it here. He just explains how things turned out to be, like how one thing led to another and that thing led to another, and things went on to become this huge thing, and how he was coping with his company growing and everything around him changing. This book is, such a humble tribute to life itself, and I really loved this, guys. I cannot convince you further. Go ahead and buy this book. Now let's get into the 4 lessons I learned from this book. Number 1, surrendering to life means saying yes to things that aligns with you. We don't usually say yes to everything. We are usually very closed, right? We usually say no to things, either because we are really scared about that thing, it's so uncertain, or we don't really see the point of doing it. Some opportunity comes along, someone asks you for help, or someone comes up and say, like, can you do this for me? We usually say no because we don't see a point in doing that. Like, there is no deeper meaning behind it, or we don't see it bringing in immediate results like money or recognition. We kind of think about our own personal benefit from it, and we are like, okay, I don't want to do this. So we usually say no to things like that. But from this book, I've learned that anytime he says he surrendered to life, he just means that he said yes to a lot of things. The moment he decided that life has a bigger plan for him, from then onwards, any person that comes his way, any opportunity that comes his way, if it aligns with him, you don't have to say yes to everything. Like, some people would ask you to do things that are outside of your moral compass. You don't have to do that. But if it aligns with your values and your morals and who you are as a person, you can definitely say yes to it. That's how you unlock many new opportunities and many new realities for yourself, which is a very big lesson that I learned from this book, and I'm trying to practice it for myself in my life. I'm trying to be more open and to say yes to things very often. You call it life, you call it God, you call it universe, anything you call it, right? It doesn't have a form. It doesn't have hands or legs. When life wants to bring an opportunity to you, it's going to bring that to you through people and circumstances, because be it life, be it universe, be it God, these are energies. Okay, these doesn't have a form like us, like mouth, eyes, hands, legs. No, right? I can come and tell you what you have to do, but life can't do that. God can't do that. So they introduce people and opportunities into your proximity. So we should be a bit more open towards things that come in our way, like things that come by itself in our way, be it good or bad. Like, that's another thing. He will not differentiate between, oh, this is good, so I'm going to say yes to it. This is bad, so I'm not going to say yes to it. That's not the case. Like, if it aligns with him and if he sees that something is happening, he just lets it happen. He just says yes to it. So this is a very, very big lesson that I learned. Number 2, to help people when they ask you for help. This is a huge thing. I told you guys he first built a construction company and then it was a software company. Now, the construction company was not even an idea. He did not want to build a company. He and his friend had built this one wooden house for themselves. They did it themselves. And someone saw that and they wanted to kind of remodel their house. So they came and asked for help from Michael. So he said yes to it. Okay, I will help you with that. And many people started asking it, and then it turned out to be a business. And it's the same with his software company as well. When this one person came to know that Michael has been writing codes, this person approached Michael with this, software billing thing, and he wanted Michael to write a code for it. And Michael decided to help him, and it took him 2 years to write that code, to come up with that software. But he decided to help that person. And then that software was installed by many other people and it became a huge thing. He decided to help people who needed help from him. And that is how his journey towards making a company, creating a company started. It's a huge lesson that I learned. We all do it. I do it too sometimes, that when someone asks for help, if I don't really have some sort of benefit in that, or if I don't feel like I should be putting in my time and effort to do something for someone, I don't usually do it, right? We all act like that. Sometimes we do help people, but sometimes we kind of rethink about it and be like, what's the point? What am I going to get out of it? But maybe we could get a company out of it. Who knows? Number 3 is to realize that small things lead to a bigger picture, right? We often say no to things, like I said, because those things seem so unreasonable at this point. It doesn't look like it has any meaning behind it. Like, what's the point of doing it? But his life story serves as an example that every little thing that life brings your way has a deeper meaning and purpose behind it. Like, when you see it from the bigger picture, this led to this and this led to this and this led to this, and that's how things turned out to be better. That's how Michael's life has turned out to be such a legendary life. So the lesson is to not dismiss anything as a small thing. It's of no use. Why should I do this? If something just keeps coming in our way, if something is just coming into our life again and again, maybe it's worth giving it a try. Number 4, acting from a place of surrender instead of your own likes and dislikes. Now, this is the toughest thing to do. Anytime life presents a situation, we immediately go into the zone of, do I like it? Do I want to do it? I don't like this. I don't want to deal with this. So we kind of go into our own personal preferences, like how we would like life to go. But, in many scenarios in the book as well, Michael would have wanted to say no to it. Like, for the first time when someone asked him to remodel their house, he wanted to say no. But then he catches it in his head. He'll be like, oh, that's my personal preference. But life has brought this person to me, so I'm going to say yes. When someone asks him to build this software, and his mind is coming up with all these preferences, like, oh, it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take 2 years for you to write a piece of code, it's too much of work, you can't spend so much time. He catches all of those thoughts and he tells himself that these are my personal preferences. These are the things that I would like or I would not like, how I would like things to be. But life is presenting something else to me. So I should say yes to it. And that's how he would say yes to it. There are many scenarios in the book itself where he would have wanted to say no because of his personal preference, but he would have said yes to it because he believes that that has a bigger plan in his life. Life is doing something to him. And this is, again, I guess, is the toughest thing to do, because catching our likes and dislikes in our head when we are thinking about it is pretty easy. But to take that action, to surrender to life and go beyond our personal likes and dislikes and to surrender to whatever life brings our way is really difficult. I'm trying to do it, but I can tell you it's really difficult. So those are the 4 lessons I learned from this book. I hope I convinced you. You should definitely read this book. I'll see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye.